Well, the Peak District is, I think of it as in the middle of England, and it's south of Manchester, north of Derby and west of Sheffield. So we are surrounded by 4 cities because we've also got Stoke-on-Trent and Derby to the south. It was the first national park. 70 years ago is its anniversary. It's available and accessible to millions of people, but still lots of people don't know about it.
So I work for the South West Peak Landscape Partnership Scheme. I work on a project called Glorious Grasslands. My project is all about species-rich grasslands, working with landowners, farmers, land managers to get the right management in place, to work with people to restore them.
I've been involved since the beginning of the project. I think Anne probably knew of our farm because we're in the Countryside Stewardship Scheme, so I suppose they were looking for farmers that were sensitive to perhaps improving the hay meadows and the grassland. So I joined the group and there was training sessions and it got off to a really good start the first year it started, and got to know the group of people here, and it was great to be involved with the people who were all enthusiastic, so knowledgeable about plants. In a way, farming here, you can feel quite isolated doing things on your own. That was really great to have that sort of backup. And Anne is incredibly knowledgeable about plants. People are so enthusiastic.
It's been great. I've really enjoyed it. It's really, really good. I didn't know very much about botany, about wildflowers, about meadows at all. So I've learnt a lot, an enormous amount, just by being with so much knowledge and information amongst this group of people. It's amazing. Just by being with them you learn lots.
People have become much more aware about the climate change and the importance of changing the way in which we live in order to ameliorate climate change, because it's having devastating effects not just on us but across the whole world. The fires that are created in Australia as a result of the way the climate's altering, the lack of water across the Sahara and other parts of Africa, and the lack of opportunity to grow food, which causes people to migrate. So it's really important to rethink how we are living our lives, I think, and how we are looking after the landscape.
Well, I've lived local all my life, and I have seen the meadows, disappear really, more and more planted with perennial ryegrass and turn into silage fields, and it's very sad. So I've been doing what I can anyway in the meantime. But when I saw this project, I just thought it's absolutely fantastic. It's the area I work in. It's the sort of thing that I'm doing already anyway, or trying to. And yeah, got involved with that. Got a little bit of work out of the project as well for a while, and which I'm really pleased about. And I'm hoping that we will definitely carry on.
The Peak District is very much part of my heart really, and I think just being able to go and see things in detail as well as just sort of walking through the environment and learning loads of stuff about bees and butterflies and the whole sort of ecosystem of things has just been really exciting.
We're either friends before or they've become really good friends. We call ourselves the Glorious Grassland Girls, which for ladies of my age is a nice title, we think.
One of the things that's been fantastic for me has been where we work, because you're going out surveying, and most of the meadows that we're surveying are sort of a bit like this, in the middle of nowhere, with amazing views. And we've had some fantastic days where it's really sunny and you're in this field surveying for wildflowers and grasses, and it's just I come away at the end of the day and you just feel brilliant because you've been sat in this meadow surrounded by wildflowers in the sunshine and fantastic views, and it's just amazing.
It's all learning, isn't it? You're going to come along and you're going to learn something new every time, and I think you just have to not be afraid to say, hey, look, what's this, and where are we putting this, and check what you're doing, and sort of tap into what other people know and can share with you.
One, they don't realise how many wildflowers they've got. They don't realise that those orchids that have been there for a long, long time are so important and so rare. And then I think lovely when they get proud of it, and instead of being proud of the how many acres they own or the size of their tractor engine, You'll often hear them say, well, I've got moonwort on my land. You know, that lady told me I've got moonwort on my land and it's very rare, you know, and I've got fragrant orchids and butterfly orchids and common spotted orchids, you know, and it's great to see landowners proud of this, you know.
And people are generally very happy to talk about the things that they're passionate about, things that interest them.
Just the joy of sharing time with like-minded people it's been really wonderful. And I've learnt a lot because we had some really good training about biodiversity and about identifying grassland plants and stuff. So that's been a really good part of it as well.
There are many, many very beautiful areas within the Peak District which are worth going to and being in. You know, both for your sort of happiness on the day and your physical well-being and mental well-being.
And I just think that the actual group of people who've been doing this have been very inspirational, really. So I'd say go for it.
The biodiversity is really important because it's part of the food chain. The collapse of the insect population is huge, which means that's not food for the birds. The insects and butterflies have disappeared. And we had lost a lot of the other sorts of birds, which now have come back with the increase in the woodland. It's really important in terms of supporting and pollinating plants and bees, which are essential for pollinating food. So it's absolutely critical that we increase the biodiversity, which has decreased enormously.
It's important because since late 1930s, 97% of flower-rich hay meadows has declined. That amount equivalents to 1.5 times size of Wales. And there's only these pockets of these hay meadows, very small pockets dotted up and down in just very few places. If I started putting fertiliser on this, it'd just totally ruin it.
So the amount of eyebright that's come up, you've got the curlew calling, it's just incredible that that's happened.
Yeah. And it's obviously because it's not grazed like that bit is there.
So you've got two semi-parasitic plants, hay rattle and eyebright, and they will be helping to control the grasses and keeping it short. And we've got an orchid as well that's popping up there. This is sort of spreading because you've relaxed the grazing, because they are both annual species.
The eyebright.
The eyebright and the hay rattle. So if they don't flower and seed, they can be lost quite quickly. They can be grazed out or cut. If you cut at the wrong time of year, you'll lose them. So working places like this, which is full of wildflowers already, with the management is fantastic, and we're about using these sorts of sites as donor sites, so we can collect seed from them. We can get local provenance seed that we use on other sites and introduce them there, so we can start to build up our resource of grasslands within the area, high quality sites. Our survey work is really important. We collect data, and we've got a group of fantastic volunteers that we're using to help collect data so that we build our knowledge about these sites within the South West Peak. That data will help to inform our restoration work. It helps to inform management and provide management advice to landowners. David's got these fantastic meadows. He's got some really species-rich meadows, and we've used them as what we call donor sites. So we've been collecting seed from sites that are rich in wildflowers, taking that seed away to introduce onto other fields that we're trying to restore. You know, a bit like ancient woodland.
Yeah, oh well, yeah.
That we classify as ancient because it's got certain species there and it's been wooded for hundreds of years. It's the same for grasslands. You get ancient grasslands. You've got species like this heath-spotted orchid. You've probably got hybrids in here. You've got marsh orchids that are probably hybridising.
Yeah.
And you get these nice covers of orchids in your most ancient grasslands.
Yeah.
And the other species that you've got here are also suggesting it's ancient and has been managed in the same way. People have been making hay on this field for hundreds of years.
Yeah.
This is nationally important, a designated SSSI site. What's unusual about your hay meadows, they do have a big component of later flowering species. So actually these meadows, they're flowering from early in the season right through to autumn.
Yeah.
They've got wildflowers in them. And you get this buzz in the hay meadows throughout the season.
For as long as we have it, it will always be protected. I just think I'm a caretaker. I don't feel that, I'm keeping this alive for generations. I'm not going to say, right, that's it. I'm always going to look after it.
The Glorious Grasslands project is actually a partnership project as well. So we work with Cheshire Wildlife Trust, we work with the Peak District National Park Authority and Staffordshire Wildlife Trust to deliver this project. I love the work that I do. I love working with farmers. I love working with wildflower meadows. I love trying to restore them. There's nothing better than I think than my job. You're out there, you get to experience wildlife. We've walked through these meadows today and it's just joyous. I'd say if you've got a bit of land, try to get some wildflower plants species back into it, because you will learn so much. I don't stop learning from what I'm doing, and I experience things differently. I can come back to the same meadow and I will learn an awful lot. They're so important, they're so beautiful, it's hard to describe, the feeling that you get from being in these meadows. We know we can reverse these declines that we've had in species-rich grasslands. We won't get this overnight. We can get some of these species that are in here, ox-eye daisy, common knapweed, rough hawkbit, eyebrights, hay rattle, we can get them within 2 to 3 years. More specialist plants take a long time to come over, but we know we can do it. We've got the techniques, we know how to do it. It's about having the resources. It's about having people like Jill and others that we've talked to today who have these meadows, allow us to use them as donor sites, and it's about people having the willingness to restore their sites. Through our project, we've been able to restore 55 hectares of grassland over 5 years, which is a fantastic amount. I'm not saying we haven't gotten to this quality, but we've started them in that process, and it is a long process. They're easy to lose. We can do it like that, in an instant they're gone. Use any amount of fertiliser, they've gone. We need more of it. We definitely need more of them. The landscape is fragmented. Even here in the Southwest Peak, we've got quite a lot of meadows, but we need more of them. We need to start to build up our resource. If we're going to make these connections between our existing habitats to preserve wildlife, we've got to do it, and we've got to bring people with us on that journey. We've got to bring the farmers with us. We've got to bring the landowners with us.
Oh, I'd say it's a fantastic group. The group's really good. We have fun. You learn an awful lot from each other, but also you get motivated and inspired as well.